Wisconsin's overcrowded prisons are providing a new revenue source for some local county jails.
Inmates serving prison time for major crimes are now being housed in our area. News 8's Lisa Klein looks deeper into the potential cost of one local county's newest income source. In tonight's News 8's Investigates report, Jail Cells for Rent.
Well, prison inmates moved into the Vernon County Jail this spring. Jails typically house inmates awaiting trial or sentencing, as well as inmates sentenced to a term of less than 1 year. The Vernon County Jail started housing people from the Wisconsin prison system, which typically holds felons and people with sentences of more than 1 year. This arrangement is part of what is called a contract bed agreement with the Department of Corrections. There are 22 county jails in Wisconsin that contract their beds. 9 of those facilities are currently housing 322 state prisoners out of a state facility. Vernon County has 25 of them. While there was concern about the new arrangement among some county employees at first, the Vernon County Sheriff calls it a win-win situation.
I had a few allegations that were put out on me.
This Wisconsin prison inmate is serving part of his sentence in the Vernon County Jail.
What happened is it was a charge, intimidation of a witness.
He was sentenced to serve time in prison in the Dodge Maximum Security Institution in Waupun, Wisconsin. But the state's facilities are overcrowded.
It was horrible.
According to the Department of Corrections weekly population reports, the prison system is currently about 43% over capacity. Unused space at the Vernon County Jail is now being contracted out to help with the overcrowding situation.
Right now, I signed a contract with Department of Corrections for up to 50 inmates from the state.
In April, 25 of those inmates were transferred to the Vernon County Jail.
We have people coming in here that are in here for murder, attempted murder, armed burglaries, armed robbery.
The new arrangement caused some uneasiness at first.
So when we're getting all those from the prison system, you're dealing with much more serious offenders.
But the guards are trained and prepared for the prisoners who are now being housed outside of a state facility.
And I'd say about good to 2 to 3 weeks, there's a kind of a tense feeling. And I'd say now after they've been here 2 months, they have more of a comfortability where you're almost dealing with them as if they were on a county level again, like a county inmate.
Which the sheriff says is an important point.
Every single prison inmate in the state of Wisconsin that is serving time in a state prison, whether it's drug-related or a homicide or serial killer, whatever it is, they started in a county jail. So county jailers have that experience already.
So with available space in Vernon County's 128-bed facility, the sheriff felt his staff could handle the added inmates because they've done it before.
At one point, we were doing contract beds with Monroe County. Monroe County needed space. We had a contract for several years with Monroe County Sheriff's Office, and then when their new jail was built, all of the inmates went back to Monroe County.
This allowed the county to start taking inmates from the state prison system, which also comes with a paycheck.
Right now, the state is paying $51.46 per day per inmate. And so that's a good source of revenue for us. That generates, just on state inmates alone, we're projected to be somewhere around the $350,000 to $400,000 and some thousand mark for state inmates.
After the added expense of things like increased food, clothing, and medications, any potential profit will help operate the rest of the county. Where does those extra dollars go?
Generally what it does, it'll go into the general fund.
The sheriff says the county has the facility, the space, and the staff that can do the job.
I think with the state trend and the current trend, we're going to be able to contract with state inmates for as long as we want to do it. It'll be a steady form of revenue that not only the sheriff's office but Vernon County as a whole can rely on for future budgets.
And he's proud to say they've done the job well so far.
The inmates seem content and happy. They are respectful to the staff here. That's because the staff here in Vernon County, the jail staff, is respectful to the inmates.
People care, people honestly care here, you know what I'm saying? And that's what we get, and that's why I'm here, right now with you, because I'm thankful to say this about, Vernon County Jail. I've been very comfortable here.
The contract bed agreement between Vernon County and the Department of Corrections is for 1 year. However, the contract is renewed every 30 days. Both the county and the state can back out of the contract with 30 days notice.
All right, but what about the Vernon County Jail's population? How do they make sure they don't end up being overcrowded?
That's a great question. Now, the sheriff says the county probably won't take more than 50 inmates from the state prison system. He also says that they will always leave room for their own inmates, their own new local arrests, and they plan to keep that inmate capacity at 75 to 80%.
Okay, thanks very much, Lisa.